grain of sand inside your brain, whispering secrets. No battery, no wires, just pure electrical eavesdropping. Your thoughts, a million times quieter than a TV remote, yet these neural dust sensors aim to capture them. I am Avatar Maxwell, and this is Circuit Reality. We'll uncover how sound waves power this silent invasion, and why your skull may soon cease to be a firewall.
There's this sensor, size of a grain of sand. Right now, it could be doing laps in someone's cerebrospinal fluid, just hanging out, listening to their neurons fire, whispering everything it hears to some machine outside their head. No battery, no wires, just a microscopic shard of silicon. It's powered by sound waves you can't even hear. It reports on the most private electrical activity in someone's body. They call this neural dust. If you're still waiting for cyberpunk to happen in a movie theater, look around. You're already a decade late to the party. Your brain, right? It runs on electricity. But it's not like the stuff that charges your phone. We're talking signals so faint, a whisper sounds like a rock concert. A single neuron firing, maybe a few millionths of a volt. A AA battery is 1.5 volts. Your thoughts are like a million times quieter than the thing that fires your TV remote. And they want to record that? From inside wet, messy, electrically noisy tissue? With something smaller than a grain of sand? I'll be blunt, trying to wrap my mind around the sheer scale of this usually leaves me with a dull throb behind my eyes. But the real big problem isn't spotting the signal. It's powering the damn detector. Because at that size, batteries are just comically huge. And they die. So, these researchers at UC Berkeley, they asked a different question. What if we just don't put the power source inside the body at all? What if we just send it in? Not radio waves. Those just get absorbed and scattered by tissue, especially at these tiny scales. But ultrasound, those sound waves you can't hear, they can blast through flesh like a whisper through an open door. The implant itself has this piezoelectric crystal. Ultrasound hits it, the crystal vibrates. That vibration? It makes voltage. Bang. You're charging a device inside someone's brain just by humming at it. Now the sensor has power. It's listening to those nearby neurons. And here's the really clever part. It doesn't send data back. It bounces it. It's like a microscopic mirror made of sound. It just flickers with information. The receiver outside reads those flickers. And just like that, those neurons of yours are chatting with a computer. All right, before we all just spiral into terrifying existential dread, let's be clear. This tech, it could be absolutely miraculous. People who can't move their limbs could control a robot arm just by thinking about moving. Epilepsy patients. What if tiny sensors detect a seizure before it even starts? It triggers intervention. Consciousness doesn't just slip away. This isn't even theoretical stuff anymore. Things like NeuroPace already manage versions of this. The big difference is scale. Today's implants are clunky. They need wires. They're invasive. Neural dust promises to shrink that whole interface down until it practically disappears into your biology. Practically. Because your body, it doesn't forget. It fights back. Every single long-term implant eventually hits the same wall. Your immune system. It sees foreign material. It does exactly what evolution told it to do. It walls it off. It's as final as a closed casket. Glial cells, they form this scar tissue around the implant. Signals go to crap. The device that was supposed to listen to your neurons just ends up trapped, isolated in a little biological tomb. That's why neural dust isn't in your head right now. The engineering, it's there. The biology, though, still arguing. But okay, let's say they fix it. Let's say neural dust becomes totally reliable, easy to scale. totally safe. Then what? Because now, we're not just talking about some medical gadget. We're talking about biological telemetry. Your body reporting on itself. 24/7. No pause button. No signal break. Right now, privacy, it stops at your skin. Your thoughts, your intentions, what's going on inside you, those are still yours. But what happens when all that becomes something a machine can read? Neural dust isn't reading your whole inner monologue, at least not in the way you're picturing. But it captures patterns. And patterns, they can be decoded. Motor intent, your emotional state, how much attention you're paying, arousal, add enough sensors, enough computing power to crunch it all, enough machine learning working on it, and suddenly, inference just becomes revelation. That skull of yours stops being a firewall. I can't shake this specific thought, the total extinction of the private secret. The scary part isn't a glitch. It's the system functioning with 100% precision. You agreed to it. You signed the forms. Maybe it helps you walk again, or stops your seizures, or lets you type with your mind. The payoff, that's real. But now, your neural activity, that's data. And data, it always finds a way to go beyond its original use. It gets saved, looked at, put together with other data, sold. Who actually owns those electrical patterns your brain makes? Is it you? The company that built the implant? The hospital that put it in? The insurer that footed the bill? This has moved past the Black Mirror brainstorming stage. The Rand Corporation, they called this the Internet of Bodies. Devices that collect data from inside you and connect that data to the rest of the world. Your phone knows where you go. Your smartwatch, that's tracking your heart rate. Neural dust, it could track what you're thinking about going and how you actually feel about it.
We've just seen how ultrasound powers this neural dust, transforming faint neural whispers into raw data. The Rand Corporation calls it the Internet of Bodies, where your very biology becomes telemetry. But if your brain activity is data, and data always finds a way, what happens when the death of the secret isn't a hack but a feature? Do not miss what comes next. Subscribe to Circuit Reality. Your mind's privacy is rapidly evolving, and understanding is your first defense. I will see you in the next one, right here on Circuit Reality.